I have $0. 48 hours. Built an AI that can find me a client. I have no idea bro what I'm doing. Let's get started. In my last video, I built an AI receptionist for a restaurant. Apparently building a product is useless if nobody uses it. Just like my D. And unfortunately, I need something called money to survive. And one way to make money is find victims. I mean clients. So now I need restaurant owners. Normally, I would open Google Maps, find restaurants, visit their website, search for their email, research on the business, write a personalized message and send it. One restaurant at a time. Sounds like work. Unfortunately, my lazy ass is very allergic to work. So instead, I'm gonna build an AI that's gonna do all that for me, and then I can sit back and watch the client arrive. Surely it would be that easy. Apparently, this is called lead generation. But there is one problem. I know nothing about lead or generation. So naturally, I gave myself 48 hours to build an AI agent that's gonna find me clients. There is also another tiny problem. I work 8 hours a day in a steakhouse. So if you subtract 8 twice from 48, that would be um um I'm very good at math. That's why I study computer science. And there is one microscopic tiny problem. I have $0 in both of my accounts. Diversified poverty. That means no paid API, no paid scrapping software, no email finding tools, no expensive automation platform. I can only use free and open source tools. And ChatGPT because I already paid for it and the money is gone. So let's build this thing. But before I begin, there is another tiny little problem. Okay, it is 3 p.m. at work. My break starts at 4 p.m. But I secretly found an empty room and brought my laptop here so I could start 1 hour early. This is either entrepreneurship or excellent way to get fired. The 48 hours challenge starts now. Editor Tanvir here. A small correction. I forgot to start the stopwatch for the first 2 hours. So for the rest of the video, whatever the stopwatch says, add 2 hours. The project has barely started and the project manager is already incompetent. Very professional. As I said earlier, I know nothing about lead generation. So first I need to conduct serious marketing research. And when I say serious marketing research, I mean to say
generation leads, lead generation beats,
lead gen
beats, lead gen leads,
10 minutes later, and obviously not 30 minutes later, my brain is completely overloaded. Everyone is talking about Google Maps API, LinkedIn tools, email finders, web scraper, investment platforms, automation software, and approximately 17 monthly subscriptions. Unfortunately, all those platforms wanted one thing that I don't have: money. My entire software budget is only emotional support. So I went to one person who always gives me questionable amount of confidence. Doraemon. ChatGPT. Hi Doraemon, I have zero money in my bank account, but I want to make a lead generation for my AI receptionist. So I cannot use any paid API or any paid software. What is the other way around? After speaking with Doraemon, I discovered there is another way, but explaining it requires an ancient piece of technology. Oh, what kind of ancient technology is this? But it's not responding. What? So instead of Google Map, we're gonna use OpenStreet API, OpenStreetMap API, and OpenStreetMap API has official docs, which is must read. And as a serious computer science student, I obviously wrote all this, every single word. Anyway, so OpenStreet API gonna give us restaurant list and websites, and then it will be connected with our backend Python, and this is obviously Python logo and not monster drink. Okay. And Python has some modules, and one of them is request. So what request gonna do is it's gonna download our website. Then there is another module called Beautiful Soup. Beautiful Soup gonna look for email, phone numbers, reservation, catering, and business details. And then it's gonna give all the information to the AI, and the AI gonna write a professional email, very personalized. And for me, I'm gonna check the email and then I will send it because Einstein used to say human in the loop is good. Anyway, I have scoring factors because I cannot send email to every restaurant that I find, right? So I have some scoring factors that gonna filter some of the restaurant. For example, +2 if the reservation requires calling, +2 if there is no online booking, +2 for catering, and then -2 if it is a fast food restaurant. And for this scoring, the higher the number is, the better. And these numbers came from years of research and definitely not from me 5 minutes ago. For the AI, we can go two route, like API, but API costs money and my bank account does not support that feature. I need something called open weight model that's gonna run inside my laptop, smart enough to write an email but also small enough to run on my 8 GB MacBook. So obviously I went to Google and searched best Chinese model. um I'm looking for an AI model. I probably should have added that. I found a Hugging Face AI list for best Chinese model. Apparently, most of the models on that list were old, and this time I did not ask Doraemon. Eventually, I found Gemma 4, an open weight model made by Google. But to run Gemma 4 locally, I need something called Ollama. Ollama makes it easier to download and run AI models from the terminal. Basically, Pokemon, but instead of collecting cute animals, you collect files that destroy your RAM. There is only one problem. I never used Ollama, so I need to research on it. And when I say research, I mean to say after doing some hacker activities in the terminal, Ollama is finally installed. Then I also installed the Gemma 4 E4B model. The model description says it can run on 8 GB RAM. My MacBook has exactly 8 GB RAM, so obviously it's gonna run extremely well. Hi Dorami, welcome to my computer. It took 235 seconds to think, which is obviously faster than me in bed. Respect. During those 235 seconds, my entire laptop froze. My MacBook Air does not have a fan, so it suffered silently. Exactly like me. Apart from that, everything works perfectly. The first model was technically able to run in the same way I can technically run on Marathon for 7 seconds. So after doing some more hacker activities, I uninstalled the bigger model and installed the Gemma 4 E2B-ITQAT, a smaller model. It should be faster and stupid. Perfect. I asked Dorami to write me a poem and my laptop froze again. Just as I planned. Now I need to start coding. And obviously I'm not gonna use Codex just because it came with the subscription of ChatGPT. So the challenge is just to vibe code in 48 hours, that's it. Chut. Newton once said, if you are a computer science student, it is not vibe coding, it is computer science. Yeah, phase 1 is almost finished and Codex wrote around 2000 lines of code in only 20 minutes. That would take me at least 1 week. The challenge might be easier than I thought. Page number 5, the Codex stopped without finishing the task. So I thought maybe I had to do something about it. But Codex said it do not need to do anything. So then why did you fucking stop? Codex apologized and stopped again. I asked again, it apologized again and stopped again. At this point, apologizing is the only feature that is working correctly. I think the context window was bugged or something. I changed to a new context window and it is working now. It is not easy to be a software engineer, guys. It is break time, and what a lovely weather. A beautiful day. The sun is shining. The sky is clear. Perfect weather to sit inside and do some hacker activities in terminal and run the first API server that I vibe coded last night. Computer science last night. I will just open a browser to go to a local host at 8002 port. I will just open a browser to go to a local host at 8002 port. Nice. See? Professional software development. Now I need to enter a city from United States. My dumbass does not know any American city or state. I only know New York, but I'm not completely sure if New York is a city or a state or a Spider-Man's location. I also have New York protein, so I'm even more confused now. So I definitely did not go to the Google, find a giant US census file and pasted the whole thing into the project. Now I have a drop-down menu. When I choose a state, it loads the city inside the states. Look at that. Actual software. I knew this project would be easy. Now all I need to do is run the system one time, find a customer, become rich, and retire. There is another run active. I cannot start a new one. And there is no cancel button. Could be easy. Okay, time's up. Let's go back to dishwashing. Now I'm at home. I added a cancel run button because apparently application needs a way to stop. Who knew? Now it is finally going to work. It discovered restaurant, but there is no qualified leads, no rejection leads, no email draft, and the CSV is completely empty. Apparently the Codex wrote thousands of lines of code yesterday, but none of the important parts were connected. So it was not an application. It's just a very organized folder. So as a professional programmer, I used my advanced engineering skills and connected everything in 2 minutes, and definitely not 2 hours. Now it is finally going to work. Every restaurant got rejected. Maybe the city has not enough good restaurant for my extremely scientific scoring.
Years of research.
So I used an advanced strategy, run it again with bigger number. 30 restaurants, all rejected. 50 restaurants, all rejected. 60 restaurants, almost all rejected. Okay, it is broken. So the OpenStreet API found the restaurant, but some of them doesn't have a website, some websites are broken, and some blocks the crawler. And instead of saying I don't have enough information, it just say rejected. But one qualified restaurant, the Cheesecake Factory. Perfect. My first potential client is a $1 billion restaurant chain. Very realistic for a guy with $0 in the account and a server running in the bedroom. I'm ready to negotiate with the corporate America. There is only one problem. It did not find any email address, but it still generated an email draft ready to send to nobody. Why? Don't ask me, man. I don't know. I just work here. There is another problem. The message was written by a fallback template. What the fuck is this output? Like JSON rename? Like, bro. So either the Gemma failed or the timeout was too short. So I increased it to 6000 seconds and run, but it still fallback. At this point I gave Codex one final instruction. Fix everything. Codex changed 43 files and consumed the rest of my weekly tokens. My Codex balance had officially joined my bank account. 0. Then I ran the software one final time. 60 restaurant discovered, 7 qualified, 52 needed review and 1 rejected. The Cheesecake Factory. Character development. The messages are still fallback messages. So what is going on with Gemma? Gemma was actually running but kept inventing details using wrong format and referencing evidence that does not exist. So my safety system that I coded myself and not by Codex, it rejected everything and uses a fallback message instead. I'm a very good professional software engineer. What can I say? So it was 3:56 in the morning. 38 hours have passed. Did it find me a client? No. Did it find me 7 possible leads? Yes. Did Gemma write anything useful? No. I spent 38 hours automating something that would manually take me maybe 20 minutes. Yeah, the project is actually failure. Just like me. Thank you.